anti-immigration and xenophobic. At least that's what the mainstream news headlines and narrative would have you believe. But is that really true? The global rise in anti-immigration sentiment is unmistakable, from the US to the UK and Europe to even South Korea. Both the pro and anti-immigration sides claim to have facts and truth on their side. Japan appears to be no exception. You can find YouTube and TikTok videos of street demonstrations in Tokyo and political parties campaigning on Japan First platforms. Oh, and did you know that Japan just elected its first female prime minister, whose hardline stance on immigration control is winning her a 78% approval rating, as well as praise and support from President Trump. Here's a story that caught my attention. In October 2025, residents of Kuchan, a small but world-famous ski resort town in Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost prefecture, launched a petition with 4,000 signatures to block the construction of a foreign worker dormitory. The proposed facility would house 1,200 seasonal workers, most of them foreigners from Southeast Asia, who are needed to run the ski resorts and construction sites. Residents cited concerns about noise, garbage, and nighttime safety. One petition organizer said that she felt as if they were becoming foreigners in their own town. After all, 1,200 workers would be 10% of the town's entire population in a single complex. But here's what's interesting. The same town has been struggling with closed shops and an aging population for years. The local convenience store can barely stay open because there aren't enough workers. So you have this fascinating contradiction. Locals protesting the foreign workers who are needed to serve the foreign tourists, whose money keeps their town alive. There is no denying that Japan is very different from Western countries like the US. It's an extremely homogeneous society with over 97% ethnically Japanese. And it's historically been a very closed-off country, which we will get into in a bit. But setting all the emotions and politics aside, we decided to do our own research to share to the best of our knowledge what Japan's immigration policy is actually like. By the end of this video, hopefully you can form your own opinion on Japan's approach to immigration. Of course, this requires us to go beyond the headlines and get into the nuances because, believe it or not, there are crucial differences between legal immigration and illegal immigration, as well as between highly skilled workers and low-skilled laborers. What about temporary work visas versus permanent residency? We need to get into all that because this is unfolding right before our eyes, while ordinary Japanese citizens are dealing with rising costs, the housing crisis, and the reality that their country is losing around 900,000 Japanese nationals every year. 16 consecutive years of population decline. Let's dive right in. First of all, how Japan ended up becoming so isolated is actually pretty fascinating. And until we did our research, we didn't even realize it had everything that would make for one crazy streaming show. Samurai, Christianity, Civil War, and massacre. Turns out, there actually was a show out there called Shogun. The main character, John Blackthorne, is an English navigator who shipwrecks in Japan in the year 1600 and eventually becomes a samurai. That character was based on a real person, William Adams, the first and only Englishman to ever achieve samurai rank.
Valentine's na bukas.
Regalo mo sa akin.
Bukas, bibigyan na naman ako.
Sus, walang ka na naman sa mga paniniwala mo.
Kuya, that's true. Ayun yung nakalagay sa papel, yung kasama sa pantalon.